Good, good morning. Today we are going to see 60MC 304 manufacturing technology. The topic is metal joining process. What is meant by metal joining? We need to join two different materials for so many purposes. In industrial, we need, for also home application, we need to join two different similar or dissimilar material. We need to join. There are different types of joints are there. Okay, the joint may be temporary or permanent. If the joint is temporary, we can join the two plates or two parts by using bolt or something, bolt or nut, something like that. Okay, if we need the joint should be permanent, then some of the methods available, that is welding, bracing, soldering, etc. Okay, what do you mean by welding? Nowadays the latest technology is also available, which is adhesive bonding. Like how we are joining the two papers by using gum, like that we can join the two metal plates also by the same principle. It is the latest technology. Okay, we will refer the different methods of metal joining processes. First one is welding. What is welding? Welding is a process of metal joining in which two or more parts are joined by contacting the surfaces by suitable application of heat and pressure. Sometimes we are applying pressure, sometimes we are not applying pressure, but on all the cases we need to apply some heat. The joining of materials include, some of the joining methods are include welding, bracing, soldering. Okay. Bracing and soldering we have seen. Soldering is used mainly for circuits. In the inductive circuit board, we are using soldering. In both of the bracing and soldering, the melting of filler rod. Filler materials, we need to supply a extra material which need to join the two materials. Okay. In soldering, the low temperature process is carried on thin lead filler. Okay. In soldering, the strength of the solder joint is very weak. At the same time, the temperature performing is around 300 to 400 degree only. In bracing, the higher temperature is involved. At the same time, we are using strong filler rod. That is brass. Sometimes we are using brass filler rod. That is called bracing. Now we know welding. Welding is a metal joining process with or without application of heat and pressure. The welding process can be classified into so many types. First one is gas welding. In gas welding, there are different types of gas welding are there. Oxyacetylene welding, air acetylene welding, oxy-hydrogen welding. The resistance welding. There are different types of resistance welding are there. Butt welding, spot welding, seam welding, projection welding. And the arc welding. Arc welding is nowadays currently used in small scale industries itself. Okay, some of the advanced weldings are available, but most of the small workshops we are using arc welding. I think all of you have familiar with the arc welding. Carbon arc, metal arc, plasma arc, gas metal arc welding or MIG welding, tungsten inert gas welding. That is stick welding. Then some of the newer welding techniques available, that is electron beam, laser beam, and so many other types of welding also available. The latest is some of solid state welding. In solid state welding, two metals are joined by in solid state itself. That is solid state welding. That is friction welding, or simply we can say friction welding, or friction state welding, ultrasonic welding, diffusion welding, and explosive welding. These are the new types of solid state welding. The welding process can be classified into two major classifications. First one is fusion welding, another one is solid state welding. In fusion welding, no pressure is applied. Two metals are melted, the edges of the two plates are melted and joined in fusion state. In solid state welding, we need to apply heavy pressure. First one, what is fusion welding? In fusion welding process, heat is applied to melt the base material. In fusion welding process, the edges of the two metals are melted by using the heat. In many fusion welding processes, filler metal is added. In some of the cases, there is no filler metal. to join the two material. If we add filler metal, the strength of filler metal is also important. When no filler metal is used, then fusion welding operation is referred as autogeneous weld. There are three types of welding are there depending upon the filler material: autogeneous, heterogeneous, homogeneous. Homogeneous means the filler material and the base material is same material. The filler rod and the base material same, which is made up of same material, means this homogeneous. If filler metal and the base metal is different, that is heterogeneous. When there is no filler metal, it is autogeneous. Okay, there are different types of fusion weldings are there. Simple examples are arc welding, resistance welding, gas welding, electron beam welding, and laser beam welding. These are some of the fusion welding processes. Then now we have seen fusion welding processes, and another means solid state welding. In this method or in this type, joining is done by the application of pressure only. Mainly pressure. Some of the cases pressure and heat is combinedly used. Even heat is used, the temperature in the process is less than the melting point of the metal. When not very high temperature is used, only very low temperature is used. In fusion welding, we need to melt the edges of the metal and then join without application of pressure. Okay, here the heat is not mandatory, but at the same time we need to apply very high pressure. In this solid state welding, there is no filler metal is used. The example for this one is diffusion welding. The two pot surfaces are held together under pressure, and at elevated temperature, the pots are joined by solid state diffusion. The friction welding or friction stir welding is a simple example for solid state welding. Joining occurs by the heat of friction and plastic deformation between two surfaces. When the two surfaces are held together and the friction is created, due to the friction, some heat is generated. At the same time, the two metals will join. Another one is ultrasonic welding, which is another type of solid state welding. Here, moderate pressure is applied between the two parts, and the oscillating motion at ultrasonic frequency is used in a direction parallel to the contacting surface. This is solid state welding. And arc welding. Now we can see arc welding process. It is a fusion welding process in which the melting and joining of metal is done by the heat energy generated by the arc between the work and electrode. Here in arc welding process, we are using electric current to produce the arc. Here the positive terminal is connected to the workpiece and the negative terminal is connected to the electrode holder. Because of the contact, heat energy generated at the contact surfaces. Due to the heat energy, the filler metal as well as base metal will melt. Because of the melting, the two plates will join. Here the electricity is generated when the electrode contacts the work, then quickly separated to maintain the gap. The temperature is almost 3500 to 5500 generated by this arc. The temperature is sufficient to melt the metals as well as filler material. The molten metal consists of base metal and filler solidifies in the weld region. In order to have seam weld, the power source moves along the weld. There are different kinds of welding processes are there. One is forward welding process, another one is reverse welding process. Here you can see the simple welding setup. Okay, this is welding machine. This is the metals to be welded. The two plates are held together. The positive terminal is connected to the workpiece and negative terminal is connected to the electrode holder. Then a filler metal is used. Electrode. The filler metal is nothing but electrode. The electrode is coated with some material to resist the heat. Okay, this is the simple welding process of electric arc welding process. Here in electric arc welding process, we can use either AC or DC, but DC is better than AC. The polarity. There are two kinds are there. Straight polarity welding and reverse polarity welding. In straight polarity welding, the workpiece is connected with the positive and electrode is negative, suitable for shallow penetration like sheets and joints with a wide gaps. Okay, this is the welding widely used. Second one is reverse polarity welding, in which the workpiece is connected with the negative terminal and the electrode is connected with the positive for deeper welding. When we need deeper welding, we need to use reverse polarity welding. When we need thin like sheet welding, we can use straight polarity welding. The next one is gas welding process. In previous case, we have seen arc welding. Arc welding, the electric arc is generated by the electric current. In gas welding, the heat is generated by in terms of gas. There are two gases are involved. In first one, oxygen and acetylene. Oxy-acetylene welding. The gas welding is carried out by a flame produced by a burning approximately equal volume of oxygen and acetylene, which are delivered at equal pressure from a gas drum to the welding torch. The flame temperature is almost 3100 to 3400, which is high enough to melt the steel and other material. Here we are using two gases, one is oxygen, another is acetylene. Depending upon the flame temperature, depending upon the ratio of oxygen and acetylene, the flame can be classified into three types. One is neutral flame. Neutral flame, the oxygen ratio and acetylene ratio is equal. Suppose we supply 5 cm cube per second, then the same 5 cm cube per second will supply by acetylene. This is neutral. Okay, in neutral flame, then oxy-acetylene flame. Okay, where oxygen is very high, it will give very high temperature. This is the simple sketches of gas welding process. I think all of you are familiar with the gas welding. And this is the welding torch.